Welcome to the Unqualified and Incompetent podcast. Once again, it's been a little time off. Got me, Joey here, and Will. Go ahead and say a little something.
Hi, I'm Will.
We had a little time off for the holidays, and so we didn't film anything. And then I ended up in the hospital for a week with severe pneumonia. And so we are back after about 3 or 4 weeks. I think this is episode number 4. Is that correct, Will?
Sure. Yeah, we're around there.
Something like that.
Yeah. It's hard to keep track when you get up into the fours.
Yeah, we're killing it.
Yeah.
I think we hit Time Magazine for top podcast of the year. So congratulations, Will, for all your hard work.
Yeah, that's Time with 2 M's. So not
Right.
the Time, but a different
Right.
Time magazine. Yeah.
But it still counts. I mean,
Sure.
we're counting it. It's right up there next to an Oscar. So too many people to thank, but so we'll just keep it going here. But yeah, Will has a new job.
Yeah,
So a lot's changed in the last 4 weeks. But
a lot has
go ahead.
changed in the last 4 weeks. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, so I have moved out of the private sector of construction, working for a general contractor. Job in the public sector as an inspector of construction. I start that the week after this coming week, and so I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah, it's been a kind of a big goal of mine for the last 2 years to make that step, and it finally happened. Pretty exciting news for me.
How's that feeling knowing that you got to be perfectly PC all the time and you're the face of the city now. You're no longer just a guy out there with a hammer. Does that feel a little different or?
I feel like I think I could pull it off. I think in construction we get pretty used to being able to talk to different people in different ways. Obviously, superintendent. When you're talking to an owner or an owner's rep, there's a different conversation you're going to have than when you're talking to a peer or someone working under you. Yeah, no, I think it's going to be fine. But yeah, I got to brush up, start acting proper.
Yeah.
Maybe I was thinking about maybe going into a British accent. I feel
Oh,
like
there
that,
you go.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not going to do it right now, but I'm still working on it. So I feel like that might. If you hear a British accent, you're probably like 10% more likely to trust somebody.
And yeah, nobody can hate a British accent.
No.
And I think that's a big misconception too. It's funny. Like you said, like with the general contractor where we deal with a lot of owners, architects and engineers and stuff like that and city inspectors and people think construction's just foul mouth all the time. It is, but it isn't.
It's not wrong.
Yeah, there's a lot of raunchy jokes and stuff like that, but there's a certain level of I don't know, just respect you have to have for the job and the owners and everybody walking around too. And we actually get on guys quite a bit, and we're sometimes just as much to blame for throwing out like F-bombs and stuff like that. But yeah, it's not as much the perspective I would say most people have on a construction worker, or perception. But yeah, so congratulations on that, man.
Thank you.
I know you have been working on that for a while.
I have. It's something that you and I have been talking about for a long time, and it's crazy to think that. Yeah, it was 2 years ago, like when I think I first applied for my first position for an inspector. And it's not something that comes up a whole lot. It's not like something I can apply to every month or every 2 months. The positions are fairly rare. I think this is my third inspection interview that I even went for in 2 years. Yeah, so it's a long time coming, but yeah, I'm really glad I got to this point. And then more to your point is just speaking. It's something that you need to learn as you progress in your career, especially in the construction industry, is just how to talk to people differently. Because yeah, when you're a carpenter or apprentice, you're just talking to your foreman. You don't directly communicate with a whole lot of inspectors, people from the city or municipality, or people even from the owners. Actually, you're told not to converse with them at all. So, yeah, I know as you've moved up, you realize just the way you speak to people has to change a lot. Yeah. So, in other news, Joey decided that he's so miserable being his friend that he didn't want to live anymore. And and you just decided to tank your oxygen. And luckily, we got you in the hospital.
Retain carbon dioxide. And
Yeah.
yeah, most levels are at like 25 to 35. My oxygen was down. Let me take that back. You're supposed to be, 90 to 99 for your oxygen. My oxygen was down to 50s or 60s. It's just crazy low. And then, yeah, at one point, my CO level was through the roof. It's supposed to be 25 to 35, and I was at. They said the test only goes up to 100, and it was at 100. They figure I was way above that. Yeah, it's quite the ordeal. Pretty much, just blitzed out of your mind. You just don't get oxygen to your brain. You getting all that carbon dioxide, and yeah, it was a rough couple of nights when all that went down. And so yeah, just being on oxygen and being on a BiPAP machine, and God, at one point I asked the nurse if I was dying. She assured me that I was not. But yeah, it was a weird feeling. I've had pneumonia quite a few times. I think I've had walking pneumonia twice, and I've had whatever, I guess regular pneumonia. I don't know what you call it, but anyways, just pneumonia a couple times as well. So I've had it about 4 times total, and every time felt like something was in my lungs and just couldn't cough it up, and like raspiness, and this time it wasn't. It was just like kind of like a hollow feeling, just short of breath, and yeah. So something I never want to do again, but it just definitely puts a perspective on life. It just kind of makes you think. So that was my week, right after the day before New Year's into the new year. So just got out of there this week, and hopefully don't have to go back.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, most people, if they want to unalive themselves, there's quicker methods than that. But you just decided to slowly tank your oxygen. I don't know, man. There's probably better ways to do it than that. But we're all glad you're still with us. We got a chance to visit you in the hospital on New Year's Day. That was fun. Now, I heard something about maybe you thinking you were in a casino.
Yeah, the night that my CO level was through the roof, I was pretty much, I don't know if it's hallucinating or, I mean, so this happened, like, it kept getting worse and worse the first 2 nights. And so the second night I actually went to bed and in the hospital there, and woke up and didn't know where I was at. And I told the lady I was at the casino, and she's like, "No, you're not. Like, where are you?" And she's like, "You checked in with pneumonia." She's giving me hints, right? And I'm like, I think I'm at the casino. I don't know. And she's like, "No," which I feel bad because I don't know if she thought I was being stereotypical, but maybe Islander-ish. And I don't.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I mean, she could have taken that the wrong way. She did not look happy. She did not look happy. And
so you're pretty much saying that you like looked at her and you're like, I have to be in a casino.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. She thought that, but really, so I can remember it. Like, I was totally fine, almost like an out of body, like just watching it. Like, I remember like word for word and everything. But I remember, I honestly, and then she said, "Who do we call? Your emergency contact's not working," because it was an old number. And she hands me my phone, and like they had to help me like unlock my phone. I didn't even know how to unlock my phone. And then I hit the phone numbers, and she's like, "Who do we call?" And I'm like, "Call anybody in there. I don't care. There's fucking numbers in there." Right?
Call anybody. Call anybody in my contact list.
Girlfriend or something. I don't know. Right? Just call anybody. That was probably a mistake, but no, I didn't. I literally didn't know. So thankfully, in my last recent calls, it was my mom and my daughters and stuff like that. My brother from when I went into the hospital, and so they were able to get a hold of my daughter and my mom, and then they came to the hospital. But yeah, it was pretty crazy. It just, man, it happened so fast. Yeah. It started out as just a New Year's Day joke and ended up pretty bad.
See, when most people, I think, or on the out-of-body experience, maybe they see a light. They see like that kind of light. Maybe they see maybe a touch of the next life or something. You see a casino. I think that's very telling.
Damn.
What does that say about you, do you think?
No, but I saw some other stuff too, man. Other stuff too. Anybody who's seen A Dog's Purpose, it's true. Okay.
Yeah, I remember that phone call. That was confusing to me.
It's true. That's because you haven't seen it yet.
You're right.
Did you see it yet?
No, I haven't got a chance.
Anybody that's seen A Dog's Purpose, I feel like somebody talked to me. It is true. Yep. You die and you come back as a new person somewhere else. And yeah, you could wake up born in China. Like you don't know. And you don't remember your past life. That's what it's all about. Recycle people.
I hope to the audience this all makes sense. It doesn't to me. So I hope the audience.
Well, no, it's like, so like when you pass away, then you wake up, you're born again.
It's like reincarnation.
But you don't remember your past life. You could wake up in Russia, child.
Sure.
Yeah, or Mexico, or Canada.
But can you wake up
You
as a
could be
dog? Because when you say a dog's life, like
what the movie is about.
with
The
oh,
movie is about a dog, and it
that
keeps
woke up as
waking
another
up.
dog.
Yeah,
Okay.
reincarnated. Yeah, exactly, just like you said. Yeah, so that was my dream, man. I was having a nightmare. Like I had a few of them. Yeah, I had a few of them. It was a trip. It was so. Anyways, I guess to follow up on that, yeah, that was the night that was the night. Like I was having like just nightmare after nightmare, and it was like crazy. And then yeah, I wake up to her asking where I'm at, and I'm at the casino just playing games. And then I don't remember anything after that, and I just remember waking up to a BiPAP, putting oxygen in my lungs, and
Yeah, you fell out of bed, right?
yeah, I fell out of bed, and yeah, my CO level was through the roof, and yeah, that next morning I woke up and I felt so bad for this nurse. I woke up and because I'm in the hospital and I'm like blissed out of my mind on all this shit going on, and I still got the wherewithal to like I'm not gonna piss myself, right? So I wake up it's 9 a.m. and I'm still like just totally foggy, and I hit the nurse button and she comes running in and I'm like, I gotta use the bathroom. And she's okay, hold on 1 second. And she leaves the room. And I don't think she realized like if I didn't get to the bathroom, I was gonna piss myself. And in my eyes, like that was not gonna happen. And I'm still wondering why I'm hooked up to this fucking machine. I'm just coming to, right? I'm just waking up from this night of just chaos and fog. And so she comes back in, and at this point it's like fire, man. I'm like, I'm gonna go. And so she helps me stand up, and I pull myself up and I stand up, and I'm like, and I look at her, I'm like, I'm not gonna make it. And so the cabinet was right next to her with all like the supplies. So she grabs a jug, and she's okay. And I'm like, oh God, this is. I lift up my gown, so I'm holding up my gown, and I'm like, I've never been so embarrassed in my fucking life. And I'm like, and this is probably normal for a nurse. I get it.
Oh
Like
yeah. Oh yeah.
they're cleaning up people in bed and stuff, and to me it's embarrassing as fuck. And so I'm standing there, I'm holding up my gown, and she's okay, go. And she's like holding the jug down so I can just piss into the jug. And so I piss, and as I'm pissing, I go and I got to make it even more awkward, right? I can't just stop at that. I'm already embarrassed. I turn and look to her, and I'm like, am I dying? And she looks away, and she's like, no, you're not dying, you're fine. And I'm like, oh, thank God. And so then she actually came in a couple days later, and I apologized to her, and I was like, and she was like, you remember that? And I'm like, she was like, you were not good. And I was like, yeah, no. I was like, I remember everything. I remember being so far out of it. I don't know how I remember everything perfectly, but no. So it was, yeah. So that was the biggest night, and then after that, it was just getting better, just keeping on the oxygen. Dude, my oxygen was down in like the 80s to 90s. I'm still not. I'm still taking a couple more days off next week of work at least, because
Yeah,
just to
you
get
should.
the
Yeah.
my regular oxygen level, right? Like I'm close, but no, this one hit me harder. Like I said, I've had pneumonia a few times, and this one hit me harder than anything I've ever had. And to be to have them rush me up to personal care unit, which is one step away from ICU, was a little scary. It makes you think, man. It makes you think about a lot of stuff. Like I got my kids, and one thing it makes you think about is, and I know this is cliche. Like everybody's gonna be like, oh yeah, obviously dumbass. But seriously, you go through life, and as a young kid into your teens, into your 20s, in your 30s, you think you're invincible, right? You think, oh, I'll live forever. You think, oh man, I got so much time, moves so slow. I want to be on this world forever. And you're really not. Like when you're born, it's like we all have our own hourglass, and we all have different amounts of sand. And this is kind of stuff like when you're sitting in a hospital bed and you fucking reflect. These are the type of shit you come up with, but it's like we all have our different amounts of sand, and we don't know how much sand is in there. Whether you take your own life, or whether somebody takes your life, or whether you die of old age, whatever, we don't know how much time we have. And it's crazy when you think about it. But there is one thing we do know, and that is that we all have a finish line. And we all have a time where somebody just hits that clock and goes tick, and it's up. And it's crazy to think about. It just puts it into perspective on how valuable it is. Like,
Sure.
and I would say like I've gotten myself into my worst shape. Like I'm 100 pounds heavier than I have ever been at any point in my life. And that's all happened within the last 2 years. My kids going to college, and then me being a hermit and shutting down. And it really, you tend to, us as humans, I think we tend to think about the negatives in life instead of the positives in life. And so I think what being in that hospital made me realize was like, all right, motherfucker, you've been down to like a good weight before. We're gonna get there. I'm gonna fucking do this, and I'm gonna stop being pity on myself. I'm gonna try it because the kids ain't going nowhere. The kids are always gonna need their dad. They're always gonna need their mom,
Yeah.
and they're not going anywhere. And hopefully, and knock on wood, but
They're gonna get married and find their own lives, but there's never a replacement for dad.
yeah. And I think that my role as a single dad and their mom is a single mom, our roles are that when we have them, we got to cherish them. And so I think what hurt me was the last couple of years is when you have kids as a single parent and you only get so much time with them because you're sharing time. The time was less than they had with their mom, but I still had to get them out. It was so limited that, let me backtrack. It wasn't limited. It limited instead of being full time as a full time parent. In that sense, that you feel like you got to do everything. You got to travel the world, right? Make sure you have no missing time. And so you spend so much time. And I had those, when I had my girls, man, it was run, go. It was never stop.
Yeah.
And it was like, we did whatever, whenever. And you get to a point, and then when they move, it almost hurt me because when they started like looking for colleges and getting out of the house, and now you're not doing all that, you're not keeping active, that's when you just shut down. And I shouldn't have been looking at it that way, but it's just hard. And
I think that's the right attitude to have when you are spending the time with your kids. I think what you don't want to do is spend the time with your kids. You don't want to spend the time with your kids on your phone or whatever. You were engaging them and you wanted to make the time you spent with them count as much as possible. And that's a great thing. And that was an admirable thing. And that's what good parenting is. And for sure, you're a good dad. But you're right. Like once the kids start going away and then you don't really have that outlet for them, that's when you need to be able to make that shift.
yeah, yep, yeah. And I want to follow up on something too. I was telling you, like we all have an hourglass. Is how hard is that so I'll give you, for instance, like my grandma now, she's turned 96 this year. And I got to, when you're diving deep on some soul searching in a hospital, I don't know how people in prison deal with it, man. I'll be honest with you. Like in a little tiny cell like that, my room was pretty decent size at the hospital, and I didn't have to share it with anybody. But yeah, I don't know how these people do it for 10, 20 years not in a prison cell. But anyways, to get back to my point, yeah, you sit there and you reflect. And I was thinking, like, how hard is that as maybe not an 80-year-old, but once you start getting up to like 85, 90, once you know that to keep up with my metaphor, your hourglass is running out, like that's got to be, like a lot of people look at elderly people and they look at I would say a lot of them, even without having dementia or Alzheimer, they're really moody and ornery. And it's you can understand why if you actually think about it. They're probably thinking about that like almost every day. Like, how could you not? You're thinking like, my time's coming to an end, and that's not that can't be a good feeling.
I don't know. I think the target shifts as you get older, right? For you still got a lot of living left to do. You're still young, and you still got kids. Kids are pretty much grown now, but still, like you want to experience being a grandpa. There's a lot of things you have yet to experience. And then, yeah, it's a hard comparison for the elderly, too. And I think as elderly, that shifted, too. I know a lot of people in their 70s and 80s that are still living active lifestyles. But I just think probably at a certain point, you hit your goals, right? Your kids are both doing well. They got their own families, stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. And I think that's probably a good lesson to live by is in this life with what time you get. People talk about a 5-year goal. Stuff like that. Make yourself life goals. What do you want to achieve? What do you want to leave behind for your children, grandchildren, or if you don't have children, like brothers and sisters or whoever, or maybe nephews and nieces? What do you want to achieve in this life? Because yeah, when you get down to the end of it, that's what you're right. That's what you're going to be looking at is, yeah, I've done what I wanted to do on this earth.
One for you, like you're knowing you for the past 10, 12 years, your priority has always been your kids. That's what you live for. That's everything for you. And And that's great. And that's gotten you to this point where you got 2 kids in college, right? And now's that point at which you have to shift that focus back to yourself, because you still have a lot more years on this planet as well, right? So it's now's the, and I think that's what's been hard for you probably, is
I don't know
taking
about that after this last week.
let's hope. And it's
Yeah.
certainly, but there's no reason why it can't be. But that's been the hard shift for you. It is shifting that focus off your kids, which it has been for the past 20 years almost.
Yeah.
Back onto yourself, to where it's okay, your kids are taken care of, for the most part, but they're doing good. They're gonna have families, start having their lives, and now it's time to shifting the focus back to you. So, for you to really be satisfied and happy going into your future. And that's going to be good when they then have their own kids, when then they get to know grandpa, and grandpa's happy, grandpa has his hobbies, like grandpa starts getting able to teach them kind of their own life lessons, right?
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'll teach them what the fuck to do. I got no problem just like I taught my kids. I'm going to be real. My kids are going to be, don't say that. I'll be like, no, this kid's going to know. He's going to know what your dad has been through.
Yeah. They want you to be happy. They want you to be happy in your own life. And just, and just knowing you've put so much effort into making sure they're good. And so I'm really happy to be able to see a shift back towards yourself to make sure you're happy.
Yeah. In other news, and I'll just end with this, is I do have a gripe, okay?
With who? What?
And with doctors and nurses and stuff. So I've already discussed my displeasure with you. So you already know where I'm going to go.
Oh, you do. You express your displeasure with me all the time.
Yeah. So one thing in the hospital. Now, this is one thing that I dealt with my family doctor, or my independent doctor for many years. He was my whole family's doctor since I've been 2, something like that, 3, 4, something like that. So if you're a nurse or a doctor, you can talk to a bigger obese person about their weight, but don't be an asshole. It's not going to change who they are. And I don't know where this comes into play. Like, you don't go to an addict and say, hey, drop the crack pipe, you fucking moron. So why can a doctor come in?
Okay. And nobody called you a fucking moron.
No. But I'm putting it into perspective, because maybe they didn't say that, but the way that they talk to me about it is not a way that you would talk to anybody else with any other problem. Well, like if somebody with anorexia came in, somebody with a drug problem, alcohol problem, mental disability, anything like that, they would not talk down to them. And for once, I would like a doctor that actually came in and said, hey, you're not living a healthy life. You could die if this continues.
Yeah. Let's
get you on the right track. Like, in what book, in what world do people think that, I would say obesity is the one area where people still think that they can just walk up and say whatever they want. Like every other thing in today's world, like I said, with addicts, we don't use the R word for autistic people or people with disabilities. Every other thing has been like, let's not be offensive, and I know that you have some feelings on this too. I know you've dealt with this with other people, but I will say that you're pretty hard on me, Will, but you're a little bit of an asshole when it comes to it, but you're nowhere near what I've dealt with in some of these medical facilities and my weight fluctuates a lot. I get down to 200 and then I get up to 300. Right now I'm above that. Like I said, I'm a lot heavier than I ever have been, but I'm going to work on that. And hopefully here within 4 or 5 months, I will be back down to a reasonable weight. But I don't mind somebody telling me, and please don't mistake that. There's going to be people coming on here saying, oh, you fat ass, to get some thicker shoulders. I don't care that somebody brings up my weight. I expect them to do their job and to tell me what's going to keep me alive.
Yeah.
But don't down talk me. And especially I've had doctors who are a heavier set person that talk down to me as well. And it's there no George Clooney or Brad Pitt, or fucking Channing Tatum. Don't be coming at me like you've got a fucking 6-pack And I have a serious problem with it. And like I say, it's not the fact that they're talking about it. Let's talk. Let's come in and pull up your stool and let's fucking chat about it. But don't come in like you're fucking almighty and you're going to tell me to go fuck myself without saying those exact words by the tone of your voice. And anyways, so I had a situation. I'm not going to get into exactly what she said, because I probably will actually file a complaint on this one because I was pretty pissed off. But it was the way she said it and the way she came in, and she pretty much said that the pneumonia was from my weight. Maybe she's right, maybe she's wrong, but then the way that she said it and delivered it to me was very negative. Anyways,
so here I'll give my perspective, which is so. Bedside manners, right? That's what they call them, bedside manners. It's customer service, right? And so there's amazing doctors who probably aced their way through medical school, right? Mm-hmm. They're super smart, and they obviously they know everything. Let's just say they know everything, right? But the bedside manners are how you're able to express that knowledge and then motivate a patient. So I'm going to agree with you is if whatever this doctor said to you made you feel this way, did not make you feel motivated, made you feel attacked, then I would absolutely agree with you that this doctor probably needs to work on the bedside manners portion of their job description. And I'm also going to give them a break because doctors probably deal with a lot of overweight. Like you said, they deal with drug addicts where they got to be like, hey, this drug's going to kill you. There's just a lot of people out there have come into the hospital with problems that their actions attribute to.
Yeah.
And so I would imagine as a doctor that probably gets frustrating. And that's no excuse, right? Excuse me.
Right.
But like bedside manners are bedside manners. That's why I would never get a job, in customer service. And that's why I wouldn't become a personal trainer. I love, you know me. I love talking about nutrition. I love talking about exercise. I love all that stuff. But I would never become a personal trainer because I don't have that ability. Like unless you're because there is a group of people that need that. There's a group of people that need to be told, hey, you're a fat ass. Let's get you. Some people are motivated by it. Some, not all. There's some people that want the boot camp style motivation and training. There's some people that feed off of that. Other people, there's a lot of people that don't feed off that. And I think as like a personal trainer, a doctor, whatever, you need to know what that patient or what that client is going to be receptive to. And you need to be able to give that person what they need to get motivated. If that makes sense.
Yeah, well, I will. I'm going to disagree with one thing. I'm going to disagree with the fact that I do agree that, yes, everybody's different and motivated in different ways. I don't think that they need to. I still don't think it's a doctor's place to determine whether they need that motivation or not. If that person needs that type of motivation, they're going to know it. Like I've told you before, I don't eat that much during the day. My problem is at night, and I'm full aware of that. Like I know my weaknesses and why I'm where I'm at, and I know what I need to do to make it better.
Okay.
So most people do know like where their problems lie as far as eating too many sweets, whatever, fucking bucket of ice cream before they go to bed. I don't know. And I don't think it's a doctor's place to insert themselves into that drill sergeant kind of, let's get you fucking hoorah going. Like that, no. If that person knows, then they need to go, and they know that they need that type of tough love, then they got to go reach out to then either they need to talk to their primary care, their doctor, and say, hey, this isn't working, and then get on Ozempic or something. Or talk to a personal trainer, go to the gym and hire a personal trainer and tell them, like, I want you to put me through boot camp when I'm with you. But like, that's got to be on the person. It's not on the doctor to decide that.
But the doctors, they have to be on, like, their job is to be like, look, your weight is a contributing factor to the things you're going through right now. Like your weight is threatening your life right now. And that's pretty much where it is.
That's fine.
Right?
Yeah. For them to just say it is fine.
Yeah.
But my thing is like I said, when they insert themselves as that is, I'm better than you. They get that I'm better than you, and that's whatever. I don't know. So, anyways, that's what. But I will. I don't want to take away from, dude. So, like I said, I was on the PCU for what does that stand for? Personal care unit, which is
The progressive
or
care
progressive care, and pretty much one step away from ICU.
Mm.
And so, like when I would walk around with my little mobile oxygen tank and try to walk, get some air in my lungs and stuff, I saw everybody else on that floor, and man, they're in such bad shape. And I do want to say thank you to the nurses and stuff like that. And I will say thank you to the doctors, even though I had a bad experience. Doctors and nurses, man, you know, what a job. You talk about, I don't know how everybody turned out on the floor I was on, but I'll tell you, there was like every room I walked by, they did not look good. I wasn't even in the ICU. I just imagine if I would have went one door over and started walking down the ICU halls. And these nurses are, the stuff they see, the death, and they do get to see people getting better, which is rewarding, but they have to look at the bad too. And people talk about, oh, police officers and this and that. And yeah, they probably they might get called to a wreck or something, or maybe get fired at. But how many people pass away in a hospital on a daily basis? They're constantly dealing with it. And so, anyways, I just want to say shout out, man. Every nurse I had was so positive, was so awesome, was great. Even though they held the jug for me, no nurse I had an attitude problem. And that's probably one place where I can see myself. If I was a nurse, I wouldn't want to go to that every day. And so for them to be who they are and to stay as positive as they are, hats off to them, man. I don't think they get enough credit for what they do. And so thank you.
Yeah, 100%.
That's all I want to say on that.
Yeah, I think nurses. I know if I had to sit there and hold a piss bottle for you, I'd be having my own nightmares. So hats off to the nurses. Hats off to the doctors too. Obviously, doctors are at least better compensated for what they do, and they're always the heroes. And so I have a ton of respect for most doctors' experience. There's bad ones, there's good ones, but as a whole, doctors are a good thing. But I agree, nurses are the ones there with you, like in the trenches, doing the crappy jobs. And yeah, there's just no way that there's like enough money that could compensate them enough. I think nurses are absolutely essential and heroes of the industry. So yeah, I'll agree with that.
We've had so much time off that, I would like to apologize to everyone out there, all you millions of subscribers, that I know we said we'd have a special guest on today. It didn't really work out. We had so much time down between videos. We did have a guest on, and we did record a video, but the audio or something was off, or something was wrong with the video, so we never did end up sending that one out. But we will get a guest on here next time to kind of get a little more different takes and items. But yeah.
Yep, we do have some guests lined up. We have some different people. We have family members, personal friends, just different people trying to get different perspectives. And yeah, we'll see what resonates and try to go from there. Okay, so one thing, I had a question for you, just something I've noticed, and I probably know the answer to this overall, but have you noticed that a fist bump has replaced a handshake?
Yeah, since COVID, I would say.
Is that just since COVID?
No, I wouldn't say it's replaced it. I would say, because like you said, is my title as like a superintendent, I'm definitely meeting with inspectors and owners and architects and engineers and stuff. I would say in a professional setting, 90% of it's a handshake still. I would say 90% of the people that I meet is a handshake, but I think, God, what's the best way I can wrap this up? I think the introduction, and if you're introducing yourself like for the first time to somebody of importance, a handshake is still the professional.
you'll go for a fist bump.
Yeah, but I think after that, I think COVID has, I think it just has made everybody just natural reflex to a little fist bump.
If you're going to be shaking hands on the onset of meeting someone, then what germ saving are we doing by then going back to a fist bump? Once we know.
Yeah.
What are we really getting out of that?
Well, it's different for everybody. So you're going to be an inspector. Like an inspector, I would never fist bump an inspector.
No.
Like if you came out and I met you, I would shake your hand, and then if I hadn't seen you for a while and you came out,
It's
I
still
would
shaking
give you
my
a
hand.
handshake.
Yeah. Like
So
and maybe
unless they did the fist bump.
that'd be weird though. For me, then I don't. I think it's just. God, listen to me now. I think it's just the younger generation, right? And there's a place for a fist bump. There is a place for a fist bump, I guess. I think especially if you're like you're gonna say hi to your nephew or something, yeah, fist bump and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
I feel like the fist bump, and then my concern, which is probably a stupid concern, my concern is that, especially with the younger generation, the handshake is gonna get replaced by the fist bump or something. If you're 20 years old and you've never shook somebody's hand, and you barely even know what that is. But I never just go in for a fist bump. If someone comes at me with a fist, I'll bump it, but I'm never going in with a fist bump.
I think you're overthinking it. From my perspective, I think that in a professional setting, I think the handshake is still number one.
Sure.
Like I said, 90% of the time. I think where the fist bump has gone is like you'd be hanging out with some friends like on a Saturday night, and they'd be like, "Oh, meet my cousin Bill."
Yeah.
And good old Bill comes over.
Yeah.
And you have this awkward handshake, like because you typically don't shake hands. Those type of maneuvers have now turned to just a quick fist bump. And
I know. That's what I don't like.
I don't think it's changed. I don't think it's changed everything. I think it still is a professional setting, which I don't mind that. I don't mind you're out with the guys somewhere and, hey, meet Bill and give him a little fist bump.
Yeah, it just seems like it's just a non-committal handshake to me. That's just...
Yeah, but did you really have to shake Bill's hand? That's where it's at, though.
But that's the thing. Like, maybe I don't really like Bill, so I'm probably going to give him... Like, I'm just saying, if I don't like Bill that much, I don't really want to get to know Bill. Bill's not going to be my friend in the future. It might be a fist bump. But...
Sure. Yeah.
So... Just a thought, man.
We got football playoffs starting this weekend, so we get to see who the Seahawks are playing.
How about those Seahawks?
Seattle fans, number 1 seed.
Number 1 seed, right in the nation.
Yeah,
Don't we have the best record? I thought we had the best record. Are we tied with anybody? I thought we had the best record.
Well, we got the best record in the NFC. I don't know about the AFC.
I don't know if anybody has a better record, or at least tied. I think.
Yeah, no, I think the Broncos are only 3 losses. I think we have 4. I don't know. We're either tied.
I think we have 3 losses.
Okay.
Yeah.
We might be tied with that.
At worst, I believe we're tied.
So they'll be number 1 in the AFC, and we'll be number 1 in the NFC, which helps us to get the first round bye, and we get to watch some football this weekend without having to worry about if they're going to make it. So
we're a different team than we were earlier this year. I feel like we've really progressed. We early in the year we lost to the Rams and we lost to the Niners, and we just beat them both. And they're both, especially the Rams. Man. Rams is still a good team. Rams give us a run.
So anybody that's watching this from a different state that doesn't watch the Seahawks or looks at it from the outside, I would say the majority of Seattle fans went into this year going, okay, we knew that our defense was good last year. It was like pretty good last year. And it was like, we thought they should be way better because we brought over, what's his name? Mike McDonald from Baltimore, Mr. Defensive Guru. And so we expected last year our defense is just going to overturn overnight, like just be a top 10 defense. And it wasn't. So then this offseason, everybody's like, now we got Darnold. We suck at quarterback. We're going to suck at defense. I'll tell you what, that defense is, man, that might have been kicking Pete Carroll out and bringing in McDonald.
For sure.
We replaced one of the best defensive coaches in Carroll, and he ran one of the best defenses while he was here.
Yep.
And we brought in another guru of defense. Like that just doesn't happen. It reminds me of the early 2000s Ravens when they had Ray Lewis and stuff like that. They were in the Super Bowl every year. They weren't even runners for the Super Bowl, but they always had a really good team. And I believe they still won 2 Super Bowls. They were spaced out though. And that's like where we are. Like we just keep getting these good defenses, man. It's going to be fun to watch this year.
In my opinion, honestly, I think this is the best Seahawks team we've had in my life. I think I would put this team above when we had Russell Wilson for the Super Bowl. Especially just mostly related to maybe not the best defense, but the offense. I think we have a more consistent offense. I think Wilson had to scramble so many times. We're pulling our hair out watching them play. Like now,
Jackson Smith and Jigba we have the top receiver in the fucking league.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yes. Like we're able to, even if we're not always able to convert on the touchdown, we are able to move the ball efficiently, and we're able to do it without Darnold having to scramble every play, which I just remember being so frustrated. Even when Russell was so good at that, but when Russell lost his ability to scramble, it just, it went to crap. And anyway, do I think we are defensively better than the Legion of Boom? No, I wouldn't say that. But I think as a whole with our offense, we are like, this is at least one of the best teams we've had. Definitely since we had the Legion of Boom and Wilson.
Yeah, no, and that defense was legendary. I mean, we were stacked. I mean, when they brought in Cliff Averill and Michael Bennett, and
Chancellor Wagner,
it was filthy. I mean,
and that's what really won us the Super Bowl. It was not Russ. It was not our offense.
No, but this defense is not far behind.
No,
and you're absolutely right. They always had second to third tier receivers. You could say Doug Baldwin. Yeah, he was number one.
He was good.
And he was a great possession receiver.
Golden Tate,
Yeah, Golden Tate was a great compliment, but we have never seen. And what's funny is the Seahawks have always chased a number one, a true number one. JSN is, if anybody on here has not seen, go and look at his highlights for this season. I'm sure YouTube's got to have his highlights for this season. The guy is the next Justin Jefferson. Like Will said, he doesn't need much to get open. And Darnold takes 1-2 seconds, boom, ball's out. JSN is phenomenal.
And Barner, that just big, tall. Like when I see 6'3", 6'4", 240-pound guy, I'm like, that's my guy. Put me in, coach. That's Will Boyer right there. Not quite.
Yep. Yeah.
But I'm excited. I don't know either whether we win the Super Bowl or not. I'm just so excited with just how well we've just been playing good games, and we haven't been playing real like. We're gonna have to do better if we want to get a Super Bowl. Like we have some room to do better still. That's the good thing is that we're still making some mistakes, and we're still pulling out wins.
Yep. No, the competition's gonna be tight. We barely beat the Rams. That can go either way.
Yep.
We'll see if they win today or not.
The Niners, we beat them, but we made a lot of mistakes, right? Like we have very least lost 6 points. We went for it on that first play, and then we missed a field goal. So there's 6 points right there we should have had on that.
We don't have to play the Eagles or Bears because they'll be playing.
But how about Darnold
out of there? But
did anybody think Darnold was going to be
no? I still think he's a liability. I still think if
he's got to prove himself.
But I like what I've seen in our defense in the last 3 or 4 games. If our defense can hold teams at 3 points, we don't need to score that much. So
but what I like about Darnold is that, and this is what I've been hearing, like even from his college ball, he's had interception, like he's had a turnover problem, right? Like that's just saying. In this year, he's got a lot better, but he's not free. He's not afraid. And that's what I like, is you can tell he's not just hanging onto the ball every single time. Like he's still making some clutch throws, some risky throws, and he's getting them in. And because what you don't want is him to be too afraid to make an interception, just stop throwing the ball or stop making tight plays.
So speaking of sports, let me bring this one to you. Now, we don't cover sports a lot because Will's not much of a sports guy. But he does watch Seahawks.
I'm a Seahawks guy. Talk to me Seahawks all day.
This one has to do with UW, University of Washington Huskies football. And so this has been on ESPN for the last 3-4 days. And I want to get your take on this. So Damon Williams is the quarterback for the Huskies. So have you heard about the whole NIL money, name, image, and likeness?
Nope.
A few years ago, they made it okay for players to get paid. You know how you used to not be able to get paid? Okay, so
college,
So now it's name, image, and likeness. So you can get paid. They're not allowed to get paid directly from, I don't know how it all works. It's got to be based based on your players. I don't know. Anyways, there's some rules around it, but these players are making millions of dollars now. Yeah. So Damon Williams, the quarterback that we have, he's I don't know, he's probably going to be like a top first, probably second round pick at the worst next year, but he's coming back for one more year of college. And so he agreed to next year with the Washington Huskies. He signed an NIL contract with the Washington Huskies for next year to come back. And then all of a sudden the transfer portal is just a fancy way of saying the player's jumping in to go to another team. Okay. So they can go to another team and they can offer millions of dollars and they'll come there. So it's pretty much like free agency. It's like, we're going to offer this player X
I have
amount
heard
of
a little
dollars.
bit about this portal. I've talked with some people that were formerly Husky players and some people in the, and they were all talking about this portal. It's basically like an agent, free agent. Like
it is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And so my question is, so like, this guy, it pisses me off. Like, they need to have some kind of, so they put this NIL money into play, but there's no rules around it. It's kind of like the Wild West right now. Everybody's trying to figure it out. So until anybody puts any rules around it, there's really nothing that is tying. And so anyways, so this guy promised UW's coming back. Then he enters the transfer portal, or he announces he's entering the transfer portal. And then UW said they were going to sue him. And I'm like, yeah, you go fucking get that guy.
Yeah.
Because what if UW brought him back and then the day before training camp said, fuck you, we're getting rid of you, and he couldn't go to another team? It goes both ways, right?
You're right. Yeah, and that's one thing I remember hearing about the portal is that you can go in the portal, but your team, whatever you're currently with, will probably drop. Like, you're basically saying, I don't want to be part of your team anymore. I'm trying to see what's out there. So you could end up not getting picked up by another team and getting kicked off by your old team. So there's a risk, right?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And I guess my question is, if a player dedicates himself to that team for that year and signs a contract for money, that should be a contract, right? I mean, he shouldn't be allowed to then all of a sudden say, oh, sorry, keep your money. I'm going to go here. They're going to offer me $500,000 more.
That doesn't make sense to me. If he signed a contract with a college team, I don't understand, unless the stipulations of the contract allowed that, I don't understand why he would then go in the portal, because he had already signed a contract. Now, maybe he had a buyout of the contract that was in the contract, and he realized, hey, if I could get more money, I could buy this contract. I don't know. That's a good question.
But see, so I think this is where they're having problems with this. And I could be wrong, and I could get roasted for this. I have no idea. This is just from a dumbass's view from the outside looking in. It sounds like where the problem is, the team is not giving them money, like in the NFL. The Seahawks are going out and getting free agents, and they are signing a contract with the Seahawks for that. And so these are like money boosters or people that are going to put ads out with them, companies, sponsors, stuff like that. And so they're signing contracts with them, not the team. And so I don't know, but so I don't think anybody's ever won yet in the last couple of years, but there's been a couple of these teams where they went out and tried to sue the player, and I don't think they've been successful, but they've tried. And so there's got to be a way to where the group that's got the NIL is able to get with the school and say, no, you're signing a contract with us, but it's got to coincide with the contract to the school. And I don't know if maybe the schools aren't allowed to write contracts, but they've got to get some language in there. They've got to fix it, because right now it's just a mess. It's the most craziest fucking free agency you've ever seen.
Yeah, it's brand new, right?
It's only a couple years old, so they're trying to work out all the kinks. But it's funny, they keep talking about the kinks, and that is one of the worst kinks I've ever seen. I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like most things. Like, it's great that these kids, let's call them kids, are able to start making some money. But is that, obviously the cream's gonna rise to the top. Like, the ones, generally they play awesome in college, and they're not, unless they're very excellent, they're not really rewarded until they break into the NFL and really start making money with a franchise. So it is good to see. Yeah, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Like it's good for them to have that ability, but it does. It seems like a double-edged sword that's probably going to screw a lot of them up too.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see how it plays out. It is funny because these. It's funny. Yeah, we call them kids now. God, I can remember being a kid looking up to all these players. Now the oldest of them are the same age or younger than me. It's crazy.
Yeah, and they're these 20-year-old kids able to get high money contracts in their college days.
Yeah. No, the crazy part of that though is a lot of these kids, they go into the NFL or most, I don't know why, but it seems like it's mostly the NFL. I don't know why they have so much problem with it's crazy. Like you don't hear about this as much as NBA or MLB, but NFL, a lot of these people, they go up and they get the money and they blow through it so quick, or they're irresponsible, or they're getting felony charges, like whatever. It seems like they're always doing stupid shit. And yeah, so what's going to happen once these kids really start raking in the dough at 20 years old? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I've heard that comment. I've heard that comment before, which is just like, yeah, are these kids ready to be making that kind of money at that level? And do they need to be? Like, I don't know. I guess it's hard to say. Like, it's going to work for some people, and I guarantee you it's going to burn some people up. It's going to tear them up, and so it all comes back to what kind of person you are. I don't know. I hope they'll have good people in their corner to give them some advice, because you're right. You're having that kind of money at that age, it's just so easy to burn through. And then maybe you're going to make a lot of money during your college days. You don't even make it to the NFL.
Dude, I can remember when I was 22. I can't lie, I'm the same way. Yeah. When I was younger, like when I was 22 and I was married and I got on a job, and now back then, like a good wage was like 15, 16 bucks an hour. And I got put on prevailing wage job, which is higher money than normal. Yeah. And it was $31 an hour. And I went out and I bought a big F-250 with big ass payments, came home I had to fill my truck with something, so why not go buy a big screen TV? And these weren't the flat TVs. These were still the big box TVs, projector TVs or whatever they're called. Yeah. And so I show up to that. My wife said, "What the fuck is that?" I'm like, "Oh, we got to have the newest TV.
We're rich now, babe."
Yeah, we're rich, right?
YOLO,
I mean, I had nothing to show for it. Yeah. Xbox with 20, 30 games, like every game I wanted. I never even fucking opened them or played them. Like, it was just stupid what I spent my money on. I could totally understand that part of it. I think you're just too young, which is why that's why I figure like some of these kids are going to be 18. Yeah. Like some of these star kids are going to get signed at 18 to $3, $4, $5 million deals.
And here's my concern too, is where's the hunger then? Like they say those college years when you're hungry, like you want to be in the NFL, man, you were hungry. You're broke, you're hungry, you're training at the free gym at your university, you're eating at the cafeteria, you don't got a cent to your name, so you're going to play your ass off hoping that you can get drafted in the NFL after, right? You're going to be hungry. And you get a few $1 million contract at 18. Are you going to keep that hunger? You got to maintain that, right? You got to have the wherewithal to be like, okay, you can't get complacent with that. You still got to,
right.
You want to turn that into a career. You got to keep going. You got to appreciate that. But
100%.
Yeah. But I know you say the car. I remember you and I were at the same job in Seattle, prevailing wage. And I remember just seeing 3 carpenters in the same month all get printed cars. Your brother was one of them. But yeah, I just remember just seeing all these people get on that prevailing wage. It's like, guys, it ain't always gonna be like this.
Well, yeah, it's funny because you do it and you're like, oh yeah, I'm balling, man. And then you go out and you get all these big payments on everything. You get whatever your house looking or whatever. You get the big house, you get the new car, and these are payments that your mind you're focusing on the pay now. Well. 6 months you could go down to regular wage, your normal wage, and that you weren't buying this shit before you got to this job. So you think you're gonna be able to afford it then? And it's the truth. It's hard, but it's the truth. Yeah, people just think that they're gonna be on it.
That's a military thing too. Like if you go to a military base anywhere in America, and you drive by all the dealerships at that town or whatever's close to that base. Yeah, you just big lifted trucks all in the front. Like you're just zero down, zero everything, because they know they sell a car, this new Marine. This dude's got a 100% solid paycheck for 5 years. And if he doesn't pay up, they can, well, that's the thing. If you're in the military, and they're going to make sure you pay. Like if someone goes after you financially, they're going to go through the military. They're going to your command, and they're going to be like, hey, this Marine you have here has missed his car payment in 3 months. They know the game. Same with if you're not paying your child support or alimony as a military, right? They know they're not going to call you bitching. They're going to call your command and say, hey, like you're not allowed to get in any kind of other outside legal trouble when you're in the military. So they know they have this solid payment, and they're gonna get paid because all they have to do, and then you're gonna get screwed over. So it's a little predatory if you think about it, but it's part of being young.
Yeah, you grow up and then you realize that you got nothing to show for it, and you're going, all right. And that's why some people are really good with money. It's few and far between. That's why there's less people that are well off than that aren't.
When you get in your 40s and you don't have a retirement, you start looking at your past decisions, right?
Pretty much,
and we've all been there. But anybody out there, man, just start paying in. Be good at money early on, because we all ignore it. And part of it's just you're young, you just don't make that much money. You're barely getting by. You're renting an apartment, yada yada yada. You're not. It's easy to be like, well, I don't got the money to put away. I don't have the money to put away. But when you get older and then you're 40 and you still live in an apartment, but you're still doing all this, it's like, gotta get yourself together.
Yep.
It's America.
Especially if you're planning on having a family. Save, man. Gets expensive real quick.
I know. Yeah. Save, and hopefully you'll end up in a house.
Yeah.
it's getting ridiculously hard for everybody. So it's easy for you. It's easy for you and me. Like you bought a house a few years ago. You're lucky, right? Like you got a good.
Oh, I got real lucky.
Yeah, you got lucky.
I wanted to keep the family house, the house I grew up in.
Exactly.
My parents were retiring and moving out of state, and so I bought it from them, and they gave me a hell of a deal. And my dad, and thank you for that. But they made it. I had a budget to work with, and it was not near what they should have got, and so I owe them. But no, that's how I stayed in this one. And
we bought a house, and just luckily my wife does well and I do okay. We were able to get a house, but still my house 9 years ago, I think it's when it was sold before us, and it's almost double the price. So it's just insane. I do feel bad for the younger generation that's getting to that point in their life where they want to buy a house, and just the percentage rate, the interest rates on top of just housing prices is just so crazy right now. Yeah, well, you and I were definitely not the people that were able to buy a house for $150,000 20 years ago and then have it be worth $800,000. Like, we're not those people.
I did. My old house when I was married, it was.
You'll still have it though.
We bought it for $220,000.
Yeah.
And it is worth. Last I looked on Zillow, I think it was like $550,000, $600,000, something like that.
It's crazy.
So sorry for a little bit of a somber episode. We had some stuff to get through. I think we still had some light areas and tried to make some light of it. But no, it was interesting couple 3 weeks here. And you got anything else you want to close with, or?
No, I think that's good. Got a little football, got a little life lessons. We got all sorts of things. So
make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment. Give us some comments. I still don't think we get many comments on I know we're still trying to. I know we have our 3 million subscribers now. I know we still only got a few subscribers, but hopefully we get some more. But let us know what you'd like us to talk about, and maybe give some topics that maybe you've been thinking about getting some opinions on. We know we're not professionals, and we're probably not very good at it, but we'll try.
We're incompetent and unqualified.
Yeah,
but we try our best.
Yeah. And that's all that counts. Every once in a while, you're going to hear me say a word that is not really a word, or a word that does not fit in that sentence the way I portray it. And that's just because I'm incompetent. So
That's just the education of America right now. Yeah. What do you
yeah,
say? Yeah.
yeah. I went through the public school system. People, come on,
Yeah.
give me a
And
break.
then became a construction worker.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I got yelled at by my doctor last week, so
Yeah.
cut me some slack.
Good point.
I'm working on it.
Good point.
I hope you guys have a good rest of your week. We're going to try to put out a video next week as well and get back on once a week. I appreciate anybody that's watched this, that was waiting for another video, and I appreciate all the people that have subscribed so far and that have thrown some likes in here and thrown some comments out there. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Uncompetent and qualified closing out.
Thanks.